Hello, everyone. This is Adam Biter with episode 3 of Adam and Peyton's album talks. Hope you guys are all doing good. Just gonna be looking for no viewers. That's fine. Okay. Alright. So, just a second, I'll have Peyton join, and then, we can start. Just in the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions or anything, really, just type it in the comments. Love to hear, audience input. How are we doing? Okay. Let's see what time. So it's 7. Alright. Okay. Questions will show up. Alrighty. Well, has anybody watched the movie Hamilton? Because I actually did. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm just gonna... Alright, let's see if I can... Alright. We're just gonna have a little bit of delay. Sorry, everyone. It's gonna be a minute. I'm just gonna... Okay. So it still worked. It didn't just end the video. That's good. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, maybe that'll work. Yep. Sorry about that, everyone. Just gonna maybe take a minute. Alright. I'm not sure. Okay. Alrighty. I wish I could just search for... Yeah, I really won't just let you... Dang. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm very sorry. I think I sent... Yes, there we go. Alright. Sorry about the delay, but now it should be starting up. Peyton is here.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't realize where the time went. I noticed it would just turn
totally
7:05.
You're totally
I'm here.
fine.
I got the list here too. So we're doing Boston, right?
We are. It's Boston time.
Okay, good.
Did you know that Boston is the city where I was born?
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
What?
Well, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
How was it growing up in Boston?
Well, I didn't live in Boston for much
Well,
of
I
my
know
memorable
you.
life because we moved
I
out to
mean,
a
you.
suburb in Massachusetts for a couple of years, and then we moved to Weston, New York.
Okay, so you've been kind of traveling then.
A little bit. Well, I've stayed here for
Do you
like
remember it or not
13.
really?
I mean, I've been a couple times within my memorable life. I went once with my family when I was about 9 or 10, and then once much more recently with my school orchestra trip just
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
All
And
right.
both times I really enjoyed it. It's a great city. A great city.
Well, I'm
Highly
glad.
recommend visiting if you get the chance.
All right, so should we just get started then?
Sure, I'd love to. I really like this album now that I've listened to it. So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited to talk about it.
Track number 1, More Than a Feeling. I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't know that one? That's probably the most memorable song on the entire album.
Definitely, if not their entire catalog of works, I think that people probably know More Than a Feeling best. And I feel like this actually became famous out of all their works for a really good reason. I mean, it's a really great song. There's just some really beautiful and tender moments um, in the melody and the chord changes. I love the
Yeah.
kind of the interplay between the acoustic sections and the more electric sections. That's something that really sets this song apart and
Yeah.
makes it unique.
I was going to say that they also have a great deal of layering with all of their instrumentals, and the vocals are just so great. With
Yeah, the
Brad
vocals
Delp,
are
I
really
think,
great.
is the singer.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing about that I find about this band is that it kind of comes down to mostly. I mean, there's the lead singer Brad Delp, and then there's Tom Scholes who did kind of all the
Mhm.
writing, except for the one song that Brad Delp wrote that is at the end, and then he also played most of the instruments on the album. And I think
I
that those
know.
two kind of make up the most the part of the heart and soul of the album.
It just goes to show you anyone can make music. It just
Yeah,
takes a lot
absolutely.
of effort to, make it as successful as it was. And
Yeah.
probably timing. Timing was probably an important thing too. But yeah, I don't really know if there's much else I can say about
Yeah.
that. It's a great
I
song.
mean,
It's very
yeah. It
uplifting too.
It is, but it also like paints this really vivid picture of this lost love, like this maybe like a lost
Yeah.
chance or something. Like
Yeah.
that one of the last verse is so powerful. When I'm tired, shoot, I can't remember the first line, but it goes, I hide in my music, forget the day, and dream of a girl that I used to know. I close my eyes and she slipped away. I love that last verse. It's so beautiful, and especially at the end with the great falsetto singing. I mean, Brad,
Yeah.
I find that he's in a lot of ways similar to the Rush vocalist Geddy Lee because he has
Geddy
such
Lee.
a strong falsetto, and it doesn't sound annoying or
Yeah.
quirky. It just sounds so natural and beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
just like
I
Geddy
wish I
Lee.
could do something like that, but I've got a bit of a lower register, unfortunately.
Right, a lower register can be
But
really useful.
that's true. But I also like the very bluesy stuff, so I could go high if I pushed myself hard enough, but I try not to do it as often because I know it's not always as natural. There are days when it's perfectly fine, and then there are other days when I struggle with it. But it comes and goes, something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, track number 2, Peace of Mind. That's probably the second biggest hit off the album, and this is also a very nice song. I
It
mean,
is
it's all
good.
about peace of mind. It's about finding it, basically.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that the music is quite as beautiful, but it's still great. It reminds me of a Journey song in some ways with the kind of the
Yeah.
chorus with the harmonies, like the people living in competition. And then the all I want is to have my peace of mind. It's just got
And
some
it's
great
still very relevant. Still extremely relevant, too.
yeah.
The
It's
perfect
interesting
part
too
of
the line where he says, "I understand about indecision." Like the kind of um,
I
it
mean, let's
raises the
face it,
question
we're
like
all dealing
I
with
mean,
that.
sometimes in certain climates, it doesn't really help to be indecisive. You have to like make a stand, choose a side, or come up with a new side all your own, and be prepared to justify yourself. But he's kind of saying that he understands. Like it's difficult to make a decision. He understands that.
Yeah,
And
I
sometimes you just
mean,
need to have your peace of mind.
we're about to head to college soon, and I mean, there's all this decision making we all have to do. I mean, it's gonna be our
Definitely.
last year. Can you believe it?
Wow, yeah, senior
I'm
year.
already nervous for it, and we haven't even. This is basically the start of summer, basically. I said basically twice. Oh well.
Mm.
All right.
Dude, that's
Do
a
you want to
good
move on to
song.
track number 3?
Sure, yeah.
Now, foreplay and long time. I wanted to ask what your opinion was on this first, because I already know I really love this song, but I wanted to
I
see what you
really
were going
like
to
this
say
song.
first.
I would actually say that my favorite out of the two sections is probably foreplay because there's this
Mhm.
it's made up mostly of this great rock organ solo that Tom
Yeah.
Scholz is playing. And it's really cool. It reminds me of something that some of the greatest keyboardists I know, like Bruce Hornsby or Paige McConnell from Phish. It reminds me of something that they would do, like just like all of the place. He's playing these triplets. It's in compound meters, so he's like and it's just all over the place. There's this crazy chord structures, and it's a really nice. It's a nice instrumental.
Mhm. I know, and then it gets into long time, and it basically talks about the subject of time and how I don't know certain aspects of it can.
Yeah,
Well, I don't really know how to explain it that well because the title really says it all.
yeah,
And
but it's a
plus,
great song.
it's more like an epic than just like an album track. It's more like an epic song, kind of.
Yeah, or a
Like you would see,
multi-part song. Yep.
yeah, like you would see in a concept album, kind of. But it's just so very,
Yeah.
it's simple too. It captures that
Ooh,
bit of simplicity as
I'm seeing
well.
an interesting question of our from John Brooks.
Do you think they could
How
have
do you think
improved it?
how do you think they could have improved this album?
I don't really know because I like it just as it is. I mean, it's definitely a product of its time. You would see more like Pro Tools stuff now and less typical instruments, which let's be honest, I'm not really into that. I like the natural elements better because then it's not as computerized or mechanized, and you can get it
Yeah.
just perfect or not even perfect because it doesn't have to be. I think it's the
Yeah.
imperfections within it that make it perfect.
I mean,
So,
the album's really good. I mean, I
mhm.
wonder if it would have been even better if it was a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but I think that maybe I
Who
mean
knows?
8 songs is a good like especially when you have longer songs like this one. This is like almost 8 minutes long, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know that one yet.
Do you think a
But,
feature from Keith, Keith or Ruz would have helped the album? I'm sorry, I don't think I
I
know
don't know who they are.
who those are.
Um,
Where are we planning on go to college? Well, I have a lot
I
of places in
don't
mind.
know.
I mean, I've been
I have
to
a few.
some visits and some virtual visits. I mean,
Mhm.
just college excites me, the prospect. Like
I know.
college excites
Yeah,
me. Yeah, like
yeah.
I once wrote this
It's
poem called
nerve-wracking
University
too.
about just
You did it. Did you
kind of the
share
magic.
it yet?
Oh, it's in the Mindspeak magazine. It's in the Writers Guild Mindspeak magazine,
Okay. Yeah, I
and
thought
it's about
so.
these college visits that I was going on. Just how much I was enjoying the climate, the social climate of a
Mm.
college, and all the opportunities that you get there.
Definitely varies.
It's like high school,
Varies.
but it's taken to another level. It's like a whole ecosystem within itself. I just really like that idea. So I'm pretty excited for
Yeah.
the prospect of college.
And plus,
Um,
you mostly get to live near it or on it if they have a dorm there. So it's
yes,
definitely a whole different world as soon
it's
as
like
you
a whole
leave.
microcosm or a biosphere within itself. I don't know, I'm getting too
Okay.
philosophical, but yeah. So that
Oh,
was
no,
side
that's fine.
A. We're already
All
finished
right.
with side A.
So, yeah, number 4, Rock and Roll Band. Now, this is my personal favorite on the album. No reason
Oh,
except that it's just a great rock song, and I really like it.
cool. Well, it is a nice story song because it basically tells the story of them
It
as a
tells the
band.
story of how
The,
they rose it to the top, and now they're
there's not
playing
too many,
stadiums.
and you know what's interesting is that there's not a lot of bands that have that ability to self-examine, to have that amount of self-awareness where you can actually make a song about yourself. Like I can't name that many bands where they actually have songs about their existence as a band. But the fact that Boston did that
Yeah,
shows that they're self-serious about themselves. Like they've taken a look back. They're their ability to look back in retrospect, they can kind of see where how they picked up speed, where they grew and they changed. It's a nice song.
Yeah, it's a very
My favorite line is,
it kind of grows in intensity too.
oh,
Like
definitely. Yeah.
the chorus is very loud and in your face, and then the verses are just kind of like, well, we were just a typical band, and then boom, we're up there on stage. Now we're playing in front of all these people, and it's just a great old time. And it just kind of reminds you of how fun it can be just to be in a group or in a musical act
Live
together.
performance. That's where it's
I
at. And
know.
you know what I've seen?
That's what I'm yearning for. That's why I'm so sad that we're all still stuck at home.
Yeah. And you know what I've seen is that these great artists are all sharing this hashtag, and it's called "Let the Music Play," and they're kind of imploring the governments of the U.S. and the U.K. and all these other countries to help support these local venues to, ensure that live music will still be able to happen after the pandemic. Like I saw Paul McCartney shared it, Pink Floyd shared it, Mark Cohn, Melissa Etheridge, kind of everybody really.
Melissa.
What?
Who's Melissa Etheridge? I don't think.
Oh, she was a great rock. She was a great rocker in the late '80s and early '90s. Kind of a contemporary of the Indigo Girls.
How do you spell her last name?
Etheridge, ETHERIDGE.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That one up. All right, let's move on to the fifth one. Smoking. Definitely a product of its time.
Yep.
But
I don't mind.
another hard rocker.
By Brad Delp?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was. I don't.
Because I know that Brad Delp
solely
wrote the last one, but I think he also co-wrote this one. It's good.
I mean, it's basically just a song about smoking. That's all it is. It's very simple. Just relax.
Pretty easy going.
Smoke a cigarette and play. That's all it is. It's just celebrating, letting go, practically.
Yeah.
It's not a lot more I can say about that one. How about Hitch a Ride, number 6?
Hitch a Ride might actually be my second favorite song on the album. It's a beautiful little
next
song.
To More Than a Feeling?
What?
Next to More Than a Feeling is your first?
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that it's so similar to More Than a Feeling that if it were done by any other band than the same band that did More Than a Feeling, then I would almost think it was a ripoff of More Than a Feeling, because it's got a super similar structure, super similar instrumentation with that acoustic electric. It's got a similar beat, a very similar beat, and it's still a beautiful song. And because it was the same band, I don't really consider a ripoff. Maybe just more like an extension of More Than a Feeling, like almost like they're playing around with that style, seeing what more they can get out of it. And I do believe they painted a little bit of a different lyrical landscape with this one, but it's still a very beautiful song. So I would consider this one to be my second favorite.
That's a pretty good pick. I've got to say, it's a calming song too. It's very blissful, and it reminds you of just hitching a ride, driving around the country, just looking around, exploring the landscape, and
absolutely,
it's just very nice. It reminds you of the beauty of the world when we're not focusing on all the negative aspects of it.
Yeah.
All right, number 7, Something About You.
Wait, isn't this number 8?
I kind of remember this one.
Oh, no, wait, no, it's number 7. I'm sorry. I got screwed up on the timeline. I forgot. You know what it is? I keep thinking about
a little bit
playing all the time as 2 different songs, when in reality they're really the same song. So this is
they're connected.
Right,
yeah. This is kind of forgettable to me. I'm gonna say I can't remember a ton about it.
When I was listening to this on YouTube, because unfortunately I don't have a CD of this, but when I was listening to this on YouTube, I was kind of examining the comments and seeing what people were saying, and there were a lot of people that said this was actually the hidden gem of the album. I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Really?
I don't think it's one of the best, but it is good.
It is a very good one. I mean, the album as a whole holds up extremely well, especially now
Definitely,
because
yeah.
there's not a lot of rock music in the market anymore. Unfortunately, we got to start a movement. I've
Yeah.
been telling you, we got to start something.
But
But
yeah, I agree.
yeah,
The
it's
whole album holds up
another
very well.
calm song. And I like how they start out the album as very intense, and then they kind of ease you into a more melodic end to it, which actually brings me to the last track. Let Me Take You Home Tonight.
Oh yeah, this one's a beautiful one, and it's written by Brad Delp, which shows really good songwriting potential from him. Although I don't really know how many of the band's songs he wrote besides this one, but
Yeah.
it's a nice song and it's a good closing song. A lot of the greatest closing songs are like those songs that are just like really nice love songs. Like a good
Yeah.
example is "Till the Dreamin's Done" by Bruce Hornsby, which was the closer on his 1988 album "Scenes from the South Side." That's just a really sweet little love song, and it's definitely the best choice for the final song. What's another good
Yeah.
one that I'm thinking of? Um, I don't know. That was just the first one that came to
That's a
mind. Really.
closing song, or
Yeah, as the closing song. Yep.
okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it's another one of the slower songs on the album, but it kind of reminds you that like after a night of partying and rocking hard, it's just nice to come home with the one you
Oh,
love or take someone you love home and just relax after the night is over.
yeah. That's an
Kind of
interesting
lets
take.
you reflect on the night before.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it because you're thinking of like the whole you're thinking of the most of the album as like a representation of like kind of the partying of the era, like kind of like this upbeat
Yeah.
rock and roll stuff. And then at the end, there's just this sweet ballad that reminds you of what's really important. Let me take you home tonight. Nice.
Yeah.
So
All
I'm
right,
seeing
my brother's calling me.
it's okay. I'm seeing two different requests here. Could you do an album? Could you guys maybe do a hip hop album or maybe an urban one? And then could you maybe do an album that has influenced pop culture?
Ooh, that's gonna be well. That might not be too tricky. I have
Pop
a few that
culture
come to mind
definitely.
when I think of that.
This one
Back in
probably had a
Black is
pretty big influence on
obviously
pop culture.
one of my favorites
Yeah.
because I'm in love with AC/DC.
AC/DC,
I
nice.
won't deny that. What's an album you think has influenced pop culture really
You know,
as a
one of the
whole?
first ones that came to mind is actually Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. And the reason that I
That's
think
a
it's
good
influenced
one.
pop culture, not only because it has some really popular songs, especially the one about MTV, which kind of influenced the popularity of MTV, um,
All right.
but also the entire groundbreaking aspect of the album is that it was one of the first albums to be fully digitally recorded, which was kind of what catapulted the music industry into that style of recording. For the Dire Straits were
Ah,
brave enough to kind of take a risk on this new style of recording, and it really paid off because they produced an awesome record, and it was really inspirational to so many future artists. So that might even be a
yeah.
good choice for.
And you had an idea last time you wanted to try a picture of Nectar. I did listen to a couple of the songs, so I'm pretty impressed with what I heard.
Oh, that's
But
great.
if we can't do that one next time, because that one hasn't made as big an impact, but then again, not a lot of people have heard it, so
Yeah.
that could be
Well,
why.
which one do you think you'd rather do? Brothers in
Well, we'll
Arms?
leave it
Or,
to a vote again.
oh yeah. I can put up a
That's
vote.
what we've
Yep.
been doing. All right,
I can
I
put,
might have to get going soon because my parents are ordering
yeah,
dinner for us, so
that's no
I've
problem.
gotta.
Well, yeah, that's great. Well, I just wanted to say that I guess as a whole, I really, really enjoyed the album. So thank you for the suggestion. I would say that my two favorite
Oh, you're
songs were
welcome.
"More Than a Feeling" and "Hitch a Ride." And great
And
band,
my
great band.
two favorites are probably Rock and Roll Band and you know what? I think I've changed my mind. I think Foreplay Long Time is another one of my favorites too.
All
But then
right.
again, More Than a Feeling is a classic too. So I have three favorites on this one. Is that such a crime?
No, it's
All right.
fine. Totally fine. They can all be your favorites if you want.
All right. I hope
Love
you
is
have a good
really
night, Adam. I'm glad you enjoyed the album, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, you
And
too. Thank
everyone,
you so much,
take
Peyton.
care.
Goodbye. I'll
You're
see ya.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.